Yes, sir. Welcome back to the GOATED Legacy series. It's your boy Reg Dollar, and let's waste no time. We looking at right here on the screen the team stats. UNLV, no surprise why they're the number one team, putting up the most points per game. They're back. They're back with that throwback name, the Running Rebels, living it up like it's throwback to Larry Johnson days. Who was also on that team? Damn, what's the point guard name? Was it Greg Anthony on the team? Think they had Stacey Augman on the team as well. Duke had to get they get back the year after. They put up 93.7 points per game, leading the nation. And one thing that sticks out of the top 10 teams here, UNC is the only one that's not ranked, putting up this many points per game. They got like 8 losses. They just got their ass handed to them by Reggie Mack and Duke in their last game. And it just goes to question how bad is their defense, because they're 12-8 and they're not ranked, putting up 85 points per game. We're going to take a look at how many points they're giving up in a little bit, but move down on this. Other teams that's not ranked, that's in this, I don't know, about like top 20-ish, Arkansas, Texas Tech, Seton Hall. That's really it. Let's look at teams putting up the most assists per game. BYU. All the teams that they sharing the sugar. All the teams in the top 25, basically top 20-ish range, they all sharing the sugar. Steals per game, UCLA averaging the most steals per game. And UNLV also up there, turning defense into offense. Providence leading in blocks. Least amount of turnovers per game is UCLA, and UNLV being in the second least turnovers per game. They gotta have like a veteran led squad. Yeah, all seniors. Except for Dennis Prince. He might actually be a junior. He one of the prospects that we got in the GOATED Legacy series. In the GOATED Fictional Draft series. So it's probably why they're taking care of the basketball. Got so good chemistry together. What else we want to look at? 3-point percentage. Miami leading in 3-point percentage. Miami and Michigan State is tied. Not thinking Michigan State when you're talking about lead among the lead leaders in 3-point percentage. Gonzaga's also up there. Kansas. Those are the 4 teams shooting at least 40% from there. And let's look at the opponent team stats, and there we go. UNC, Wake Forest are the 2 teams among the power conference schools. I think I moved Nebraska. I might have had to move into like the Mountain West or something like that. So among the power conference schools, Wake Forest and North Carolina give out the most points per game. And let's look at who forcing the most turnovers per game. Surprised we won't see Houston up here. UNLV is 3rd. Memphis is 2nd. And we can't look at defensive rating, but a good gauge at this is the opponent field goal percentage. We got Ryder up here. Texas A&M, we moved on to the Conference USA. TCU has the best out of the power conference schools, and then the second best out of power conference schools is the Duke Blue Devils. And that's no surprise. They got Reggie Mack and Rich Mack, who are both elite defenders. I know when we think about Reggie Mack and Rich Mack, you just think about the scoring that they bring to the table, but defensively, Reggie Mack at 6'9", could guard 1 through 4, and you already got Rich Mack with 7'3", like 300 with like an 8-foot wingspan. So they just cover so much ground on that team. Haven't been fully healthy. Even Matt Adams is competitive at the point of attack as well. Even though he's a little small, but still a really good point of attack defender. BYU is also up here. Memphis, Kansas. Okay. Now we've seen that. Let's take a look at the schedule of up-and-coming games. Kentucky. They got Florida and Mississippi State. Next week is about to be a big week for them. They go up against Alabama and Auburn. Auburn is unranked. Duke. They got Virginia Tech and Clemson. And they got a non-conference game that they scheduled later on, going up against Rutgers. Rutgers is a decent squad, respectable squad, 16-7, even though they're not ranked. And easy game for UConn. They got Minnesota coming up, and Creighton has not been good at all. Have 2 prospects, but just haven't really done anything. We got a rivalry game, Kansas at Kansas State, and that's Saturday. Got a matchup between two top 10 teams. Houston and Kansas, two best teams in the Big 12. So let's get this. Let's get this going. March is coming up soon. So you know what that means. Almost March Madness time, 33-point victory for UConn. I'm interested to see what these players about to do in the tournament. Trey Phillips had 30. It's a notable thing. Let's move on from that. Kentucky, Florida. Florida ends up winning this game. TJ Cyrus, 4 points, no show, 5 fouls, 18 for Rico Rodder. Yeah, he is a wild card. They lose back-to-back games. Kansas at Kansas State. Rivalry game. Let's see how this plays out. Kansas wins by 15 points. Devin Brown's 19, 7, 8, and 4 steals and 4 blocks. He is a menace on the defensive end. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Devin Brown this season. And right now, on my internal big board that I got on my dome right now, he might be climbing up. Originally, I was going to do 4 big boards, one before the tournament and then one after the tournament. But I'm like, I'm not going to do all that. Because it's not like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, obviously, in real life, it'll make sense. But, like, nah. They're only playing, like, a couple more games. And then also got to factor in, like, the last big board that I put out. In real life, you usually put that out after they go through like workouts and you hear more intel and stuff like that. We ain't doing all that. So I'm gonna just do after the tournament. That's probably gonna be my last big board at the end of the season to wrap that up. We got a matchup at the 5 spot. AK going up against Rich Mac. And Duke escapes with a 2-point victory. Was there a game winner? Milo Nikolic with the go-ahead 3. So that means they was down? Yeah, they was down. Milo Nikolic with the go-ahead 3. And Virginia Tech tries to, I guess, take a half-court shot or whatever. And they end up escaping. 8, 4, and 4 for Milo Nikolic. Shout out to him. A lifesaver. Lifesaver. They had these niggas on the bench. 25. Rich Mac, 24, 7, and 4, and 5 steals for Reggie. Kentucky, Mississippi State. They lost back-to-back games. Kentucky needs this bounce back. And that's what they do. TJ Cyrus, 17 points, 22 for Rico Rodder. And the Reeves kid had 24. Now Duke versus Clemson. At Clemson, and Duke suffers a loss. This time losing by 2 points after a go-ahead 3 by Clemson taking the lead. Matt Adams gets pickpocketed, and they lose a game in an upset. You know they storming the court. You know they storming the court. Rich Mac had 31 points. Reggie Mac had 19 and 10. Yeah, what is with these guys finish on the bench? What's going on? Now Duke moves to 19 and 4. Creighton. Oh, wait, hold up. Houston and Kansas. Kansas wins. They on the roll. Oh, there's no Darius Carrington. That's tough. Devin Brown, though, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. Like, he hooping. He might fuck around and be the conference player of the year. UConn, Creighton. Creighton gets smacked. Camden Hayes at 8 and 9. 14 for Caleb Taylor. 22 for Trey Phillips. Denny Campbell had 19. Honestly, I think what I'm gonna do, I know I didn't share their documents, but like once I get everybody's stats, that's when I'll share the documents, the Google Docs for the prospects. I think I'm gonna just do that. So if y'all looking for that in the description, that's probably why it hasn't been posted yet. All right, this week, Rutgers, NC State. Damn, these niggas really lost. They was playing with their food. That's what it was. But Duke always played bad at Clemson. That's just how it is in real life. So it is what it is. And Notre Dame upsets UConn. I think it was 11-11. We got a prospect on here. Where he at? Florence. 20 points for Florence. Big game for him. 5 of 16. Got to the line a lot. Trey Phillips had 23. Julian Love had 20. They couldn't get no stops. Give up 94 points against this Notre Dame team. It was bad too. It was 500. So I ain't just Duke. All right. If Duke lose the Rutgers, something going on. All right. They won by 13. Matt Adams had 11 points, 10 assists. Milo Nikolic had 15. Reggie Mack got into foul trouble. Rich Mack had 28. Yo, like going forward, I might have to put everybody's foul tendency on 0 and just let the rest of the scrubs foul out or these random people foul out. Alabama, Kentucky. Alabama wins. Derek Murray had 13. Chase Cassie only had 8. Mario Ellington, 19. 3 steals, 2 blocks. TJ Cyrus had 19 points and 7 steals. Rico Ryder only had 7, fouled out. 2 of 11 from the field. UConn got their rematch against the Hoyas this week. Right now, see they could get their get back, and they do. Going to Georgetown, get the victory. Trey Phillips, he been hooping. I wish they differentiated college stats. Not college stats. The conference stats from the non-conference stats to see what they was doing, but it's a game that came out in 2007, so I'll cut them some slack. Just know when y'all drop this again, y'all need to add that. Don't tell me he didn't play. Oh, I thought Prince Aminu didn't play. He had 18, 8, and 6. He did work. Any other games? All right, there's a couple of games. Oh, Auburn. Auburn not been like that. Kansas, West Virginia. Never know with these upsets. Yep. I had a feeling an upset was coming. I was about to say shit about to be sweet, but shit was not sweet. 24 points for Devin Brown. On the other side, who went off of them? Someone had 25. Could have swore West Virginia was like supposed to be nice. Kentucky at Auburn, and Auburn wins convincingly. 19 for Rico Ryder. On the other side, Matisse Bourne had 18 and 12. Now Duke, NC State. Oh, there's another one. There's another place. Don't lose, bro. I'm about to say. Niggas already lost these fuck niggas in the Elite 8. 18 points, 13 rebounds for Rich Mack, 16 for Reggie. That's a calm game for Reggie Mack. He ain't really go crazy. They still got that dub, but Kentucky's starting to slip. Kentucky is starting to slip. They're 1-4 in their last 5 games. Got about we might have to make this a long episode. So what I'm thinking is Selection Sunday in a couple weeks. All right. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to send these next 3 weeks. And then the week of the conference tournament, I'm going to have that into an episode. And then Selection Sunday, I'm going to merge that together. And then we're going to go from there. I think that's what we're about to do. So we about almost 15 minutes into this episode. Should we go into college hoops today? I don't think so. I'm not really feeling it. Maybe next week. Oh, he's back. He's back. Damn, Zach. Welcome back. Let's see what you about to do in this return game. It's not this game though. UConn, Villanova got a couple prospect matchups, and Villanova got worked. Trayvon Hopkins had 15 and 8. Mustafa only had 6 points. Julian Love with 25, 18, 9, and 5 for Andrew Campbell. Not Andrew Campbell, Danny Campbell. Who this? They're unhappy. You should meet with them, boost their confidence. Eh. Y'all niggas on fall in line. Oh, we got another Duke UNC matchup. We got another lesson. Oh, I ain't even save this. Let me save this. Got another lesson that they want to be taught. Be my guest. Be my guest. Be my guest. This time, Rich Mack, 32 and 8, 5 blocks. Do your thing. Reggie Mack only had 14, but it's cool. Matt Adams, 9 and 7 assists. 9, 9, and 4 for Milo Nikolic. Then, it's tough. They'll probably benefit from coming back because they'll have their own roster. Actually, now they got to. What am I talking about? We got more Duke prospects coming in. So they definitely got to leave after this year. But they could definitely be on another team playing a bigger role and if they was healthy. But the numbers is probably not going to reflect how good of players that they are. Baylor taking on Kansas. No prospects on Baylor. Surprised I didn't put anybody on Baylor. Return game for Zach Archer, 28 points for Devin Brown. Zach Archer, 22 points, 6 rebounds, picking up where he left off. This Kansas team might be back in contender mode too. UConn, we got 3 contenders that we controlling. Kentucky, they are frauds. They not on shit this year. They could be a first weekend team. It's almost March, so we might as well just start talking about the state of teams. This Arkansas team is very disappointing. Number 4, Duke taking on number 16, Louisville. Lamar Ruffin, Matt Adams matching up against each other. And Moses Johnson and Milo Nikolic. Duke ends up winning by damn near 20 points. Lamar Ruffin had 20 in the game. Moses Johnson had 13 and 10, but they just got overwhelmed by the talent on the Duke side. 26 and 11 for Reggie Mack, 13 and 10 assists for Matt Adams, 13 for Milo Nikolic. Like every couple of games, they have their games where they do their thing, show off their talent. But it's not every night that they're able to do that because you got the 2 stars, Rich and Reggie Mack, 21 points, 8 rebounds, and four blocks. But when you got those 4 guys on, it's tough to beat. And hoping they stay healthy for the rest of the season as well. Kansas, Texas. All right, this is perfect. This is the matchup I wanted to see. Dustin Williams, and Zach Archer. These are 2 guys I was kind of going back and forth when I was doing my big board, who I think is a better prospect. I should have looked at the stats before we got to Simmons. Yeah, we can't look at the stats right now. All right. Personally, for me, if I'm looking at it right now, I think I might have to go with Zach Archer with his ability to stretch the floor out a little bit. Also, rim protect. Dustin Williams, they could do similar things. Both athletes. Both athletes run the floor well. Zach Archer could put it on the floor a little bit better. So I think he might be the better prospect. They're at Texas. I don't know who won the last game. I think Kansas might have won, but in this one, Texas takes it home. How about I call him D Brown? Well, I guess you could call him D Brown, but Devin Brown, 19 points, 5 steals. Zach Archer got in foul trouble. Okay. Is that because Dustin Williams was working? 18 and 12. Didn't shoot that many free throws, but overall, the team was getting to the line. They fouled 31 times. God damn, Kansas. Was the refs on their side or what? If it's Duke shooting that many free throws, we ain't gonna talk about the rest. But I don't know. Shit might have been suspect. All right, UConn taking on Cincinnati. The fucking Big East is weak, and UConn just lost, right? And I said that. Trey Phillips had 24. So they lost to Notre Dame, Cincinnati, Georgetown. Marquette was ranked. All right, South Florida. Oh, they ranked? I didn't even know that. Okay. Kentucky, Arkansas. We've been here before. This time, we in Arkansas, and Kentucky goes 2-0 against Cal. 23 points for Rico Ryder. 27 for Tyree Smith. 19 for Sincere Porter. I think it might be time to watch college hoops. I've been talking for a little bit, so I might as well shut the hell up. We'll be back.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2K Sports Studios. I'm Greg Gumbel with Clark Kellogg. Just ahead on College Hoops Tonight, we'll show you which coaches might want to start polishing up their resumes, as well as take a look at all the exciting games of the week. But first, we give some of the little guys their due respect with our list of the top 10 mid-major teams in college basketball.
I just love talking about the non-power conference team. This is the kind of stuff that gets me fired up for March. A couple of these teams have the potential to be very dangerous in the tournament. No one more so than the team at the top of the list.
Hofstra has a schedule that rivals that of any of the top power teams. The strength of their opponents has been just outstanding, and that's going to be a huge factor in their ability to survive in March. In playing one of the most difficult schedules in the nation, they've gotten a lot tougher along the way. There are always a number of coaches at this point in the season who are under intense scrutiny from the fans. How big is the hot seat this year, Clark?
It's more like a couch right now, Greg. You know how hard it is to please those alumni.
The Penn State coach was a popular figure for his first couple of seasons, but now the fan base is starting to get a little bit restless, especially with the lackluster results he's shown this year.
After the first few years, when a coach starts to bring in his own guys and leave the old regime behind, that's when you're supposed to start taking off. But it went the opposite direction for him, and that's what has the rumor mill spinning. Running a big-time program puts a coach under a microscope that coaches at non-power conference schools rarely experience. And under the glare of that scrutiny, he just has not been able to keep the critics off his back.
There was no shortage of excitement on the court in the past few days, so let's take a look at our games of the week. We had a pair of top 25 teams in an old-fashioned grudge match. Texas toppled Kansas.
This game wasn't as close as I expected it to be, but there still was high-level basketball played. I expect to see more of both of these teams in the future. Texas really pounded the glass with tenacity this game, and it paid off for them. They boxed out well and made sure that they didn't give up any second chance opportunities.
That's always an area that can really be an indicator of a team's performance, and the rebounding numbers told the tale in this one.
Also on our list of games of the week is a conference face-off in the SEC. Ole Miss got by Alabama.
Both of these teams are jostling for position at this point in the season. We're in that critical part of the year when everybody's trying to get hot before the postseason. Momentum is everything right now. Bryant was a man possessed. His 24 points led the team. They needed an effort like that to get this win. He saw all sorts of defensive looks, but no matter what they threw at him, he handled it and handled it well.
That's our show, everyone. For all of us here at the 2K Sports Studios, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer.
We got 2 weeks left in the regular season, so let's take a look at the bubble watch. They got this out. Okay. We got Oregon up here, and they're 17-8. Let's look at 3-0 against top 25 teams, 4-4 against RPI top 50 teams. Okay, looking at the record, they don't got not that many bad losses, only 2 bad losses. They probably gonna end up getting in. Got Trent Beretta. What's their best win? They won against Kansas at Kansas, so that's their best win. They beat UCLA. They beat Arizona State. Oh, that's not really a great win. What was the other top ranked team that they beat? Oh, they beat USC. Okay. So they're probably going to end up, they got another chance to beat UCLA too. Arizona is going to be a big game for them. So I think they're probably going to end up making a tournament. Okay. Xavier, Logan Shazowskis is injured. I don't know what's going on with him. So let's not even look at this. LSU is also on bubble watch. And that's it. And looking at going back to the college hoops tonight, they had Ryder up there among the best mid-major teams. I think Hofstra, we definitely got a prospect. I think Mateo and Lingram on Hofstra up there, and there was one other team, mid-major team, but I honestly forgot. Anyway, moving on, let's look at the projected brackets. Projected number 1 seeds, we got UNLV, in Syracuse, Duke and Houston. Not Houston, Austin. Nashville, we got UCLA number 1 over there, and Salt Lake City is UConn. Conference standings. Should we look at that real quick? Well, let's look at the polls real quick. Kentucky's still ranked? Oh, they're 19th. Okay. All right. 2 weeks left. Let's get back to it. Kentucky going up against Georgia. And they end up winning by 4 points. TJ Cyrus with a double-double, 17 and 10. Rico Ryder with 24. And the next game is against Alabama, Missouri, UConn. UConn take care of business. Danny Campbell, probably his best game, 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. 21 for Trey Phillips. Kansas, Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is ranked. Oh my God, they smacked Kansas. They locked them up. Held on to 52 points, 32% from the field. God damn, 21% from 3. Devin Brown, Zach Archer. Neither one of them scored in double figures. Horrible game. They shot the bed. Kansas been losing a lot of games at Allen Fieldhouse, I feel like, this season. And we got another matchup. Duke going to the Carrier Dome. Dwayne Cooper, Reggie Mack matching up again. And oh, Lord, have mercy. 115, like this is an NBA game. 42 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. I think this might be the third 40-point game for Reggie Mack. I don't think this probably hasn't been done since Pistol Pete in the 70s, bro. This is third 40-point game in the season. Dog, I think, Rich, he probably still averaging more points than Reggie Mack, but like, Reggie Mack is the guy I want building my team around. Like, they're really like they're the Shaq and Kobe, 1A, 1B type duo. Matt Adams had 17 points, 8 assists, 4 steals. Shout out to him. Rich Mack, 15 and 4 blocks. Ain't really had to do anything. Milo Nikolic had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. So this one, it looks like when all 4 of them are clicking. Scary. What? That was the Brooklyn Nets out saying scary hours and shit? Yeah. Shit get dark when they show up. When all 4 of them show up. D. Coop had 17. He had a solid game. Had 6 turnovers, though. As a team, they turned the ball over 24 times. They got taught a lesson. Miami, though, and Duke, that's about to be a great matchup. And then Duke's last 2 games are going up against Virginia and Virginia Tech. UConn, Seton Hall. Seton Hall upsets UConn. No one on Seton Hall to look at. Trey Phillips had 22 points. Julian Love, 11 points. Chris Williams had 5. Danny Campbell, 10 and 9. Trey Phillips, he definitely probably getting his draft stock back up because there was a point in the season where he looked like one of the disappointed freshmen. but it's probably just in that freshman slump. And now Duke, Miami. I think this might be the first time them seeing each other. Matt Adams and Ricky. Who am I about to call him Rico? Oh, not Rico Ryder. Matt Adams, Ricky Cruz going up against each other. Zaire Gatson and Milo Nikolic. But the deciding factors is probably going to be the Max if they stay out of foul trouble. And oh my God, Miami came in. They saw, they conquered. 19-8 for Rich Mack. Matt Adams had a double-double, 11 and 10. Reggie Mack had 13 points, only played 24 minutes. That's a head scratcher. Only had 2 fouls. Head scratcher. What's going on, John Shire? He must have just picked up 2 early fouls in the first half. I'm guessing that's what it was. And the game was close in the first half, too. They was up by 2 and shit got dark in that second. They put up 53 points in the second half. And Duke suffers their fifth loss of the season. Has UNLV lost yet? We're going to see after this week. Oklahoma, Kansas. Kansas ends up winning that. Zach Archer, 16. Devin Brown, 13. And last game of the week, Kentucky, Alabama. And a backup point guard for Kentucky gets injured. And they take that L. TJ Cyrus had 28. Rico Ryder had 21. Chase Cassidy, though, probably his best game that we've seen of him. 30 points for him. 22 for Derek Murray. 13 for Marlon Ellington. Like, they should be way better than what they are. Glad to see they probably about to jump up a little bit, though. Got a big win against Kentucky. And season recruiting ends. I don't care because we got the roster set for next year. Not going to get into college hoops tonight. We got one more week in the regular season. UNLV has yet to lose a game. UCLA has only lost 2 games. Georgia Tech is back to the top team in the ACC. Only lost 3 games. Actually, they already were probably last week. So looking at bracketology, projected brackets. Oh, they got, wait, time out. Ole Miss projected to get a number 1. Nah. Duke got to win. Duke better win these next 2 games. UConn and Duke have got surpassed for number 1 seeds. UCLA, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, and UNLV. Damn, they about to get a 2 seed? Nah, they got to win. Duke better win out. They can't lose against Virginia or Virginia Tech. That's 2 bad losses if they do. Miami, that's a serviceable loss. They a top 10 team. Wait, let me look at the polls real quick. I don't think I was looking at the polls. Yeah, I was actually. Where's Kentucky at? They're at 23. Rodgers back up here. They 27. Oh, they hooping. Home game win streak at 11. Okay, all the teams Duke lost to is in the top 100. Georgia Tech has 1 bad loss. Just got to hope for Georgia. If Duke wants to get ahead of Georgia Tech, probably have to win the ACC tournament, and also hope that Georgia Tech loses 1 more game as well. Did they play Georgia Tech? They definitely did. Yeah, they won that game. Won that game by 3. That was a home game for them. Oh, shit. All right. Last week of the season. Of the regular season. TCU Going up against Kansas. Kansas ends up winning the game. Zach Archer. All right, nothing really talk about performance-wise. Duke, Virginia. Can't lose this game. They don't lose. Reggie Mack, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 2 of 12 from the field, struggle. Rich Mack at 22. Bro, they got Ole Miss ahead of niggas. Like, what? Kentucky they better win this game. Another injury for Kentucky. And they got waxed. They got waxed. These niggas suck. Creighton, UConn. Creighton upsets UConn. 22 points. So their chances for the number 1 seed, it might be cooked. Creighton had a losing. Creighton is 13 and 18. That's a terrible loss. They lost the last 3 Saturdays. All against not non-conference, non-ranked teams. Duke versus VTech. It gets scary sometimes in Blacksburg, but not this time. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 28 and 12 for Rich Mack. There we go. So Duke finished off the regular season 26 and 5. Let's hope that's the last loss for them. Kentucky going up against Tennessee, 22 versus 23. We got Rowan Banks, Adam LaPonte, however you want to say his name. Kentucky, another injury. This is all coming at the wrong time. They lost by 11. Adam had 25. Yeah, this is just a bad month for Kentucky. They've been in a drought. God damn. 3 and last 9 games, they 3 and 6. 3 and 10 if you count the last 10 games. All the wins came against ass teams. Is that it? Kansas, BYU. BYU number 9. Number 11. Kansas number 9, and BYU wins the game. $24 for Devin Brown. I think they had like Jack Crosby on this team. He had 29 and 9. He fouled out as well. That was only in 24 minutes. Zach Archer ain't really do much. And all right, before we go into 2K tonight, let's take a look at the schedule for the tournaments. I don't think we ever looked at the other tournaments that teams won. Let me go through that real quick. Marquette won the 2K Classic versus Houston. I'm just looking to see. That's a Raleigh. Oh, shit. Illinois won this. No one out in Illinois, but Louisville was in that. NIT tip-off. Gonzaga lost to Texas A&M. Palm Tree, Duke won by 2 points. Is that the game that someone had a game winner? I'm not sure. Polar Bear tip-off. UNLV won this one. Dennis Prince. Let's see what he's doing. He might have to be player of the year. 24 points per game, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. He might be. Oh my God. Rich Mac though. They undefeated though. Yeah, off the top of my head, it got to be like Dennis. How about I call him Dennis Smith? Dennis Prince, Rich Mac, or Reggie Mac. Those got to be your candidates for National Player of the Year. Also, Tyson Cambridge got to be in there as well. I know UCLA has one of the best teams. He putting up like 18, 19 a game. Other tournaments. Okay, Sam Houston State. I see you. Delano Hughes, he had 18, putting up 18 a game. Paradise Jam, won by Providence. Aaron Booth. We gotta have somebody in the goated, one of the goated players representing in 18. Aaron Booth putting up 15 a game. He is injured. Hopefully that's minor. The Hawaii Invitational, which is the Maui. Indiana lost in the championship. Javante Hall, haven't really heard too much about him. He putting up 16 a game. Great Alaskan, nobody notable won this. USC lost to Florida in the championship. Domingo and Diego Gonzalez, supposed to be Domingo Gonzalez. He had 26, 10, and 5 steals. The Deodorant Classic. What's supposed to be the Old Spice Classic or some shit? I don't know. Right. All right. Legends Classic. Okay. All right. Let's get into the conference tournaments. Some of them already kicked off already, but that's the bad conferences. So some teams already punched their ticket to March Madness. But looking, where the ACC at? I know y'all seeing what I'm seeing. All right, so I guess the certain teams, the bracket just might not be out yet. Okay. SEC shit out. Guess we about to just leave it at that. All right, that'll be in the next episode. So let's get into college hoops tonight. I'll do it for me. It's your boy Reg Dollar. Hope you're enjoying this series. As always, like the video, hit the subscribe button, stay safe, be goated, and take it away, Greg Gumbel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel at the anchor desk with my partner, Clark Kellogg. Coming up on College Hoops Tonight, we'll take a look at the upcoming big games of the week in college hoops, as well as take a look at all the exciting games of the week. But let's start off with who we selected for our NCAA Player of the Week.
Meacham is our choice this week, and he might be winning an even bigger award at the end of the year. There's a lot of talk about him as a Player of the Year candidate.
Now let's take a look ahead to the games that get top billing on the schedule in the days to come. The conference tournaments are upon us, and no matchup looms larger. This game is a crucial grudge match between a pair of the best teams in the SEC.
LSU would be my pick here. They're so strong on the inside that I believe they'll be just too tough to match up with. It would really surprise me if that talent discrepancy on the inside doesn't tell the tale of this game.
But that's not the only item on the schedule that has NCAA fans buzzing. This conference tournament showdown should have more action than a typical game between these teams in the Big East.
Cincinnati should come out on top if I had to make a prediction. Their backcourt is so solid this year, and their guards love to get out and run. That gives them a huge advantage in a game that should be as fast-paced as this one will be.
Now, let's turn our attention to some of the action of the past week in the NCAA with our Games of the Week. Starting things off is a chess match between two of the game's greatest coaches. Ole Miss was victorious over Florida.
This is one of those rare games where the fans come to the arena just as much to see the men on the side of the court as the players on it. I love watching these matchups just to see the subtle differences in how both of these great coaches operate during the game. Ole Miss played some absolutely stifling defense. They made the guys on the other side work for every basket, and you can see that reflected in the shooting percentage. They never let up on the defensive end. That really took the pressure off the offense and allowed them to dictate the tempo of the game. To me, that was the biggest factor.
and 2 teams each enjoying a spot in the top 25 got together. Brigham Young toppled Kansas.
It was a real treat to see these teams both come to play in what turned out to be a fantastic game. They showed us why they deserved their spots in the top 25. This was an entertaining and fun game to watch. Crosby was a man possessed. His 29 points led all scorers. They needed an effort like that to get this win. He saw all sorts of defensive looks, but no matter what they threw at him, he handled it and handled it well.
That's our show, everyone. For all of us here at the 2K Sports Studios, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer.